is right. It is time to do some fantasy booking. Although any time you do this in 2022, there is a collective of people that start going, oh, you're so stupid. What a loser. I thought this was the best thing about wrestling. We sit here in our nerd thrones and we see things happening out there in the sports entertainment world. And we go, well, if I had a magic wand, this is what I would do. I'm going to do it anyway because of all those things I just mentioned. And given everything that's happened over the last few years, I will count nothing out, especially because Tony Khan just bought Ring of Honor. So now there's a few people saying that maybe, just maybe, Cody Rhodes will head up that brand and he'll lead an invasion to AEW. Why? It didn't work. Here's why. Now this was sparked off by a lot of things. However, I do want to give a shout out to Sean Rossap of Fightful.com because he uttered some words on his show that you should absolutely check out, and that really set a fire going. And I'm just going to read them to you. We've gotten people who are asking if Cody is leading a Ring of Honor invasion into AEW and all the Cody speculation. This is something people are cooking up on their own. Now, I will say this. The person who said Tony is buying it being Ring of Honor, they gave me some info that was pretty accurate, but they believe that Cody will eventually lead that as well. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It seems like ... I mean, if you want to follow in the footsteps of Dusty. So he is not saying anything official before we all go crazy. But if this did happen, my word, we would have just witnessed one of the greatest works in professional wrestling, which is another modern day problem. There are some wrestling fans that don't like to be worked, but we don't need to worry about them. I mean, they get mad and they moan about everything. Tony Khan can ring them up and say, hey, egg on Twitter, I'm gonna make you the AEW champion, and that person will go, oh, it's really stupid, I'm not ready. But let us go through some tidbits that will really get your feet tickling away, because Cody did say in an interview a few months ago that the ride that he and we were about to go on was gonna be a crazy one, and one that no wrestler has ever done before, so that's a massive tick. There's also been a lot of speculation that one of the things that Mr. Rhodes wants to do is sort of be involved with creative and run his own promotion, so get out that pen, that's another tick. When you dig in deeper though, flub me, I mean, Cody has a history with Ring of Honor, and you have the All In show, which is also tied to that promotion, and also, if you can believe it, Dusty himself had a relationship with Ring of Honor. I mean, he even wrestled some matches there. And there was also the fact that Tony Khan said in some interviews he thought everything was going to be fine with Cody and Brandy Rhodes, and in the last minute, it just wasn't. So could it be that this Ring of Honor deal was taking longer than everybody expected, meaning that Cody couldn't sign his new deal, which is when a light bulb went off in someone's head and they went, ha ha, who wants to do something truly groundbreaking? I mean, look, this is full on nerd talk. Like, I said it once, I'll say it twice. We are in Nerdsville, but you can't say there isn't a chance. There's also the fact that Cody has said that he's a huge admirer of Triple H and what he did for NXT, so maybe Cody wants to do that with Ring of Honor. And when you do kind of sniff around right now, all the buzz between Rhodes and WWE and then hooking up again, well, it's kind of gone very quiet. Now that is probably because he's going to debut after WrestleMania, so why keep beeping that horn if it's going to be a few weeks before he does turn up? But that one, it's not as fun, so I'm taking it and I'm throwing it over there. And instead, what I'm going to say is that this all came up last minute, which completely changed his plans. My word, do I love wrestling. We do need to jump to the other side, of course, because it's only fair to give things balance. And if you go and listen to the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer radio show, Dave Meltzer absolutely does not think this is going to happen. And in fact, when he started talking about it, it was like somebody had slapped him. He was basically appalled. And that does make sense as well, because if it did go down, the levels of kayfabe that have been kept up here. I mean, Cody obviously would have been involved, Brandy, Tony Khan, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and even Edge. Now, obviously, the Rated R Superstar would have no clue. He was just having a fun in a promo, but by accident, he would have tied into all of it, which is why, if I do turn out to be correct, which I actually won't, I am going to do backflips because I'm just going to be so excited. Because again, just to draw a line under it, look at me, it's like wrestling threw up in my face. And if you did get to this point, of course you would do some kind of AEW versus Ring of Honor invasion thing. Even when the invasion angle is done wrong, cough cough 2001, fans still enjoy it because it just opens up the forbidden door to multiple possibilities. When you also throw in the fact that there's a bunch of good wrestlers out there just waiting to be employed, well then you've got an army. Plus, when you swim through the AEW roster right now, they have a ton of guys and girls that would certainly benefit from having a new show to work on. And if you need a captain to head up the Ring of Honor charge, well, can you believe it? Samoa Joe is out there. Somebody should sign here yesterday. We do have to question what Ring of Honor plans to do from a weekly television show point of view, because if you do have all these bodies and you do want them to get out there, they need a place to work that isn't called Rampage or Dynamite. But that is likely something that we need to figure out anyway. Like, while it's amazing that Tony Khan now has the ROH library, he has bought the entire thing. He owns the intellectual property. So I can only imagine that he is going to run some events. So we just need a TV station. And we just need a day. So that is actually pretty tough, all things considered, and I want to make it doubly clear that whatever Brandy and Cody Rhodes and Tony Khan decide to do, as long as they're healthy and as long as they're happy, I couldn't care. So, I mean, Cody and Brandy could go to WWE, Impact, New Japan, come back to AEW, whatever the hell they want to do. They have already achieved so much in their careers, and I doubt they're going to give that up anytime soon. And it's the same for Tony Khan. My word, Tony Khan is becoming Mr. Wrestling, and I'm here for it. And that's the same when you actually just focus on the fact that AEW is now owned by Ring of Honor, or vice versa, whatever the hell I just said. I have been watching ROH for years, and it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum that someone who is super passionate about the product now owns it. I mean, look at everything that Mr. Khan has done so far. I don't know about you, but he has earned my trust. But as somebody who enjoys getting carried away, consider this me getting carried away. I mean, you can't really lose. Again, you either get one of the best stories ever, or I get a really cool debut either before, at, or after WrestleMania. It's basically what I live for these days. Massive, massive pops. So all of this makes Simon a happy boy. Man, make Simon a happy man. And now we get to sit back and just refresh Twitter constantly, because that's where all this news comes from. I don't know about you, I leave the house, I go and do something, I sit down, I check social media, and it's just like, news! Because so much goes on. I'm terrified. During this video, somebody else has probably been signed. Now, please do leave a comment below and let us know, what do you think about all of this? What do you think about Ring of Honor? What do you think about AEW? And what do you think is in Cody Rhodes' future? Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Head on over to WhatCulture.com, where, yes, we shall keep you up to date with all of this news. We will do the same on the YouTube channel with as many videos as we can make, and we're on social media. Come say hello. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you for joining me as always. And remember, it is okay to fantasy book. Do you remember when there was that crazy rumor that Cody Rhodes may be in the Royal Rumble? Some people were so mean about this. They were like, how dare you say such things? You idiot, you buffoon, you moron. If you want to buy it in that way and it makes you excited and you can watch the show and not get upset when your own expectations aren't met that bad as well, then you should do this all the time. It's why I like it when Tony Khan promotes the crap out of things. It gets me all like, oh man, I can't wait for this show. And even if I don't think it's a massive deal, I would rather have that rise rather than just sit around being all bored all the time. That would absolutely suck. I'll do that when I'm dead. Don't know what that means. Goodbye.